Hey guys, Richard here with Richard C. Howard LLC. Today we're talking about influencing requirements and how this could be the single most important thing you do to consistently capture government contracts. So let's get started. If you've ever asked yourself, hey, this RFP came out and it looks like it was written for my competitor, or maybe you have a new solution you want to propose to the government, and unsolicited proposals to the government are known to go to the trash can, right? So not always, but for the most part, that's not a valid way of kind of suggesting things to the government, at least one that generates the kind of response you're probably looking for. Either one of those things can be answered in the way that you respond to a request for information or sources sought. So that's what I'm going to focus on as far as influencing requirements in this video. If I had $1 for every company that sent me what they thought the requirements should be for an upcoming RFP when I was a government program manager, I'd be a rich man. The companies that are doing this consistently over and over again are the ones that go on contract with the government. So think about this. The contracting officer for the government or the program manager, they're putting a lot of different companies on contract to do a lot of different things. Typically, they're not the subject matter expert at what your company does, right? So if you're a software developer, you could probably assume that you know more about software development than the contracting officer or the PM on the government side, right? So when they put an RFI out, a lot of times they're just fishing for information. They don't know what they don't know. They have a general idea. They know what the problem is they're trying to solve, but they don't know the specific way of tackling it. So they put RFIs and sources sought out to see what companies can solve those problems. And a lot of times they take some of those responses and turn those into the requirements. So your goal when you're responding to an RFI is to suggest requirements and maybe technical details that could go into the RFP that could solve the government's problem set. Now, the benefit to you is you're suggesting the technical specifications that are going to set your company up for success. So whether that's certifications that your guys have, a particular type of security that should be embedded, in the application that you're building, if that's, what the RFP is for, whatever it is, some technical thing that your company is really great at that your competitors aren't so hot at. So what you're doing is you're giving yourself the edge. Another thing you do, if you're writing an RFI response, by the way, the handcuffs are off when you're responding to an RFI. You can give them as much or as little information as you want. The more you bake into that RFI response, the more you're helping out the government on the other side. So a lot of times what happens is you're creating that relationship with the government team. You're helping them write the RFP by suggesting requirements. You're setting yourself up for success because you're suggesting things that your company specializes in. And in some cases, more rare, but in some cases, this actually turns into a sole source contract because what you're suggesting could be that much different than what they were looking for, or maybe you're so unique in what you provide that you just don't have competitors. There's a lot of different ways to shape that. But just wanted to talk a little bit about RFIs today, requests for information, and how you can influence requirements by responding to those. If you want to talk in further detail, feel free to hit the consultation button or send me a text message, email. Be glad to respond. All right, take care.